Hello, Mr. Dave here from Geeky Guys, and welcome to another episode of 18 horror movies, 18 days till Halloween, and 18 horror movie reviews. In the episode today, we are talking about Pieces from 1982. It is a joint collaboration movie with America, Italy, and Spain, which is very interesting. You don't normally get those three all in one go. Normally a couple of countries, 3 countries, pretty much unheard of. And you can see elements of all 3 in it. I would say it is also known by its Spanish name, which is Mil Gritos Tien la Noche. I probably completely murdered the Spanish pronunciation there, but I gave it a stab in the dark. I had a go, so I've tried. And it's also known by the Night Has 1,000 Screams, which as usual is a bit of an exaggeration. I always think that with these horror films, with these taglines like the whole "you'll never go out again, you'll never sleep again," you know, to be more realistic, like you might not sleep tonight, you may not go out tomorrow. That'd be more realistic. That'd be better, make more sense. But yeah, it's a predominantly American cast, pretty much by the looks of it, with Christopher George, Paul Smith, Edmund Purdom, Linda Day, who's been quite a few decent horror films, and Linda Day George, sorry, I should say, Ian Serra and Jack Taylor. And it was also, I'd say, written and produced by Dick Randall. And the basic premise of the film is your typical 80s, early 80s slasher film, set on a college campus, university campus, like many of those were around that time. But it's slightly different in that it starts off with the beginning of the film. And there's a young boy in his house doing a jigsaw, seems pretty benign, but then his mother notices that it's one that he's got hold of or nicks off his dad that's got a naked lady on it, and she's not very happy about that, as you wouldn't be. Doesn't think it's suitable. Maybe she's a bit religious as well, and there's a bit of that element to it as well, and doesn't like it. So she plays up, basically kicks off a bit, nags at him, shouts at him, moans at him, and instead of him like going in a corner and crying or actually help him put it in the bin or just running off, decides to pick up a fire axe and dismember her and remove her head, which is a bit of an overreaction. But that is the beginning of the film, and then it goes to black and skips to 40 years later. And now we're on the college campus, university campus, with the big hair, the big clothes, big shoulder pads, big dresses, all that kind of stuff. It's got a very cool kind of synthy soundtrack for the most part, a little bit of pop, a little bit of rock in there, but yeah, it's not bad. I actually quite like the soundtrack, and it's kind of all the way through the film you're kind of trying to work out who it is who's doing these heinous crimes. One of the taglines for the film was, "You don't need to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre," and we won't show you anything of this film, only pieces, literally, which was quite good taglines and very apt indeed. There was certainly no lies there. And yeah, so through the film, women predominantly, are being ripped up with a chainsaw, and they're trying to find out who it is. Obviously, they seem to get in and out very easily with not a lot of problems, so it kind of, is it a bit of an inside job? Is it somebody that works there that's doing this? So there's the investigation. There's obviously the set pieces with the deaths and the gore and the odd boob here or there. Obviously, with it being the early 80s and it being a slash film, you come to expect that, which is fine. Yeah, it's you're kind of trying to work out who it is. Weirdly, kind of the police response is very muted, is very minimal, and they kind of seem more bothered about keeping it quiet and not letting the information go out, rather than getting everybody in and trying to solve it and stop these horrible murders. It seems more like they're trying to protect the image of the school, and as the film goes on, that kind of makes more sense as it comes together. I won't kind of tell you too much about the actual deaths and the set pieces and everything else, because that kind of ruins it if you haven't seen the film. But yeah, it's basically Obviously 40 years on, you know, you're connecting it to this boy years ago that was making this jigsaw, and now he's, you know, ripping off body parts from these women, and, you know, yeah, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a very entertaining film, a little bit slow paced in places, but it keeps going. Some of the acting's a little bit hammy, not great quality, but they kind of sort of get away with it. Um, yeah, the suspense stuff's quite good. That's kind of setups to the deaths are quite good. They're not always predictable, which is good. So I think it's always rubbish with these slashes where they're too predictable and you've worked it out even before it's happened. So that's good. And yeah, apparently back in the day, this had a video nasty tag put on it, which as people who grew up in the 70s to the early 90s would probably be aware, some of those older films in the 70s and 80s got banned in certain cinemas in certain countries, and so the only way that you could see the film was by getting a genuine or a pirated copy of the film on VHS, as it was at the time, or maybe Laserdisc later, but basically pirated VHS videos to be able to watch it. And this one was banned by because of the Obscene Publications Act from 1959. So yeah, some people didn't like it very much at all. But yeah, so it kind of, and because of that, because a lot of those video nasty films from back in the day, it got a bit of a cult following. It still has now, and a lot of those films have, because they had that video nasty tag put on them. That kind of makes people remember them, and also when they are released years later, you know, in full, with the full gore and full language and full everything else that was maybe banned back at the time, people still want to get hold of them and watch them, because of that tagline, and maybe for the people that haven't seen them before, that wanted to watch them at the time, that now can watch them. So it's certainly in that category. The film certainly did very well. It only had I think it was a 300,000 budget, something like that, if I remember right. Let's look at my notes. Yeah, 300,000 budget, very small, even for back in the day, the early 80s. But it actually made 2 million at the US box office, so some good profit there. So they did something right. So yeah, Pieces, very good film. A little bit dated, as you would expect for an early 80s film, but still worth a watch, still enjoyable, still get something out of it, still keeps you guessing a little bit. So yeah, I would definitely say, if you've not seen the film, check it out. It is on the Shudder streaming platform, as a lot of these films are that I'm currently reviewing for this set. And yeah, if you can find it, watch it, and you'll probably quite like it. So yeah, that's it from me, and we'll be back tomorrow with another episode, with another horror review for the lead up to Halloween.